we just made, but Matteo referred to his educational experience this particular week and what I'm doing with both him in our education together and my students that I also teach. He said, Mom is teaching me real life stuff, teaching us real life stuff, and
I matched it.
I think he's doing a puzzle right now. I think that's really, really important that we start doing this with our kids. So we send them to school, they do whatever they do at school, and they come home, and then, I don't know if you're anything like me, but we end up waiting on our kids. Oh, you want this? Oh, you want that? If they even look towards something, oh, are you hungry? Oh, are you thirsty, right? We kind of jump to help get them what they want because that's their way of communication, and we as parents can feel that, right? A wise person once said to me, the concierge service must stop. And I thought that was a great way to summarize kind of our role with our kids sometimes when they're on the spectrum. And we don't even know we're doing it until someone points it out to us. And then we either will choose to get mad at them, defensive, or take what they have to say into our brain a little bit, in our hearts, and think about it. And, you know, it was someone I really loved and respected, and I did choose to think about it and not get defensive about it, and it's kind of changed everything. So that's one portion of what I'm talking about. The other portion and how it bleeds into our daily educational experience, because we're homeschooling, is, yeah, we don't have to stick to a certain curriculum that's based on feeding factual information. Sure, everything's important, and we do touch on history, and we do touch on science and math and everything else, English. But also, there's a practicality that I think we as parents might want to consider a little bit more, and it's fun. And I'll tell you, if I went to a school like this when I was growing up, no offense, it would have just been a little more exciting, I think. So what we did today, or this week, we've been studying the Erie Canal and the Industrial Revolution. And so I'm saying to my students, again, I'm assuming competence, I'm assuming they're understanding this entire lesson. I don't care if they memorize the fact that it was finished in 1825 and cost $7 million and took 8 years or not. Okay, that's fun information to have. Hear it, do what you want with it, and then learn the real stuff. It helped this country industrialize and gave a lot of people jobs and increased our productivity. So why is that important? Why do we need jobs? What kind of companies were started because of access that the Erie Canal gave us? And how could that apply to us today? There's an education, right? So I'm like, all right, so you're living around here, and they just put a new canal in, and now you can get goods and services and people, or goods actually, and people that you need really fast and easier. So what company would you want to start if you wanted to, if that happened? And so they're all being entrepreneurs, and we're writing a business plan. They're choosing if they want to manufacture or sell. That was their first choice they had to make. And this is as simple as, do you want to manufacture, M-A-N-U-F-A-C-T-U-R-E, or sell, S-E-L-L. Put it up there and let them point. So this goes back to how we start education with this type of method. And, you know, I didn't create this. Soma Makapati, with the rapid prompting method, created this. This is all from her. But it's really fun to do. So you start with simple choices. Oh, you can see that the hand is moving one direction or another. It really doesn't matter how much control you have over the hand. And we can talk about this in another video. I don't want to get too into the details of how to start this, but just know that we do start with choices, and they can choose reliably, and you can be assured that this is what's going on in their brain after you do this for a while, following the protocol that Soma had put in place through her method. But needless to say, so I found out what my students want. They want to manufacture, do they want to sell? and some of them wanted to do both. So there's 3 of my students, one of them who's 19 years old and is able to express herself now for the first time after 19 years. It's just in the past 3 months. She's going to start a clothing store. And I said, do you want it to be big like a Costco, or do you want it to be a small boutique where you specialize in something? And she chose a small boutique. And we went on with the details of what she's going to sell and how much is it going to cost and what's her target market. And now we're going to go into her logo making and her slogan and what type of marketing does she want to do to get clients to come into her clothing boutique. How many people is she going to hire? What's she going to pay them? Why is she going to pay them that much? So it's a whole life lesson. It's going to include art. It's going to include creative writing. It's going to include, making a commercial and learning about marketing. It's going to include what's a good wage to pay somebody and why. How much does it cost to make a living? And why do we need money in the first place? I mean, this could go on for weeks, right? But at the end, we're going to have this beautiful creation of a student that's been silent for 19 years. Can you imagine? And by the way, this young lady, she came to me and we started working together about 4 months ago, and I hardly got any response because she doesn't have too much control. She's had seizures her whole life, and there were some harder things about her controlling her body and her emotional reaction, neurological reaction to this intense way of teaching. It is the most intense way of teaching. But we work through it, and through it all, we assume that no matter what they're doing to soothe themselves or keep themselves calm or whatever, that's okay. That is okay. And, we teach anyway. We presume the competence and we move on. So a bit about this wonderful student of mine. She came and was very limited in her means of communicating. And, we worked through it. She had some ways of soothing herself that were a little more difficult to watch at first. And we worked through it anyway. And I'm giving her the respect that she knows how to soothe herself. And she needs to do that. We're gonna work right through it. I'm presuming competence the whole time and continuing to teach. And here we are, four months later, and she's writing a business plan for a clothing boutique she wants to open. So what I did with her in her lessons is just, again, presuming the competence, teaching and moving on, just like Matteo said in his last video. Teach, presume, and move on. Teach, presume, and move on. And that's the way I did it. And here we are, just a few months later, and she's writing a business plan. And she's loving it, and she's so proud of herself. And it's so fun to watch. One of my other students, he wants to open a car dealership. So he's going to sell stuff, just like Jacqueline was going to sell stuff, but he's going to sell cool cars. So we're working on his marketing scheme today. That's awesome. Same thing. Same thing. He wasn't expressing himself verbally, hey, I'm going to open a car dealership someday. No, this is all through this, and it's through the presumed competence that we can get these things out of our kids. And then my son, of course, decided he wanted to manufacture. And I said, what do you want to manufacture? Cupcakes, cake pops, bread, chocolate chip cookies. So my son is going to open a bakery, and so we're working on that. We can have a lot of fun teaching our kids, whether you're doing this or not, whether you have found your miracle or not. You can start it and create it today by doing these simple things. Just go ahead and read to them age-appropriate materials. Read to them about the Industrial Revolution. A teenager, read stuff that's important to them and pertinent to them. And also, I think it's really kind of fun to take yourself and your life experience and just toss it for a little bit, because theirs is completely different than ours. So we follow a specific protocol in society. Got to get a high school diploma, got to go to college. We're going to go apply for a job with 6,000 other people that have the same credentials that we have, and we're all going to fight for this one position. I don't think that has to be their life. So just open your mind. Let's think out of the box for our kids. Thanks. Have a great day.